everyone, it's Dawn here. I'm back again. I told you I really want to play this game some more. I'm doing this one on my own because, bless him, Mike was going a little bit mad. And yeah, I think he needed to separate from just some time away. It was just too much for his innocent little brain. So yeah, we're just going to carry on where we left off. Okay. Yes, we finished here. Mike accidentally found some reviews for it, and apparently it does get quite steamy quite quickly, so I'm quite excited. Let's go.
Alright, so where are we heading to first? Cafeteria? I think we can all agree that we're really hungry, especially after hearing about our company's line of deliciously spicy bubblegum.
Who would even buy that? I wonder.
You'd be surprised. I just think of atomic fireballs when I think of spicy bubblegum. Oh, I love those things.
Me? I would pay good money to get a taste of it.
Me too. Ah, you do like spicy food after all. We entered the cafeteria, a bustling room filled with the aromas of different kinds of food. As we got in line, we ordered our meals and chatted freely.
Cajun fries and the spicy chicken burger for me. That's my definition of a good meal.
I'm kind of going to agree. That sounds quite nice.
I'll take a tuna sandwich and some juice. You're probably going to need water or something to curb all that spicy flavor, Suzu.
Tuna sandwich.
I can't be tamed by the likes of that. If it's spicy, then it's gotta be all or nothing.
Amen, brother. Props.
You're crazy!
Hell yeah, I'm crazy.
I think I'm getting a migraine.
Oh, shush. I think I'll go with... Oh, mac and cheese and a soda. Hell yeah. That sounds good. Once we get our food, we settle down at one of the empty tables, putting our backpacks aside to finally dig into the food. Suzu leaned back in her chair, tiding? Where did that come from? Tilting it back so that she could rest her feet on the table by her food.
Alright then. Is there anything we want to talk about?
Bored already?
She's
I know.
ignoring.
Let's talk about...
Say boys, and I will never speak to you ever again.
Aw, why not?
Girl.
What's so interesting about talking about guys? Not like any of us are gonna get boyfriends anytime soon.
We don't know that. What if one of us does get a boyfriend?
Like that's going to happen, Naomi. Look at us. I'm a tiny Italian. You're a ditzy blonde.
Hey!
No
So she's
offense.
more ginger.
And Anderson here. Well, I guess she could land a boyfriend or girlfriend if she wants.
Thank you. I could land a girlfriend if I
Or
really wanted to.
girlfriend?
She can be a lesbian if she wants.
True.
That's okay, Suzu. I'm not sure I want a boyfriend yet. Curb those
Why
insatiable
not?
needs of
It's our
mine.
senior year. Might as well get a boyfriend.
Maybe she's just not interested in a relationship, Suzu.
Well, really wasn't about wanting a relationship, but more if there was no one interesting enough to be in a relationship with. I have a feeling that's about to change. Don't get me wrong, I'm an open person, but there are not many interesting guys in the school to go out with. Who knows? Time will tell. Yeah, it will. Naomi looked at me, wanted to continue the conversation. However, before she could speak, the speakers in the cafeteria started up. An announcement echoed through the cafeteria.
Miss Anderson, please come to the main office immediately. Please bring your things with you.
Ah, shit.
Oh my.
Looks like our plans have been cut short. The men in white coats have finally come to get you.
How did she know?
Suzu, don't joke around. What if it's serious?
Fine. If something happens, just call us.
Oh, won't you, insensitive cow? Funny enough, something did happen. And it was certainly no laughing matter. Cold. It was really cold. The rain became heavier that afternoon, accompanied by rolling thunder now and then. The skies had turned dark, though I couldn't see any of it under the black umbrella. Not that I was looking up. In fact, looking up was the exact opposite of what I wanted to do. I stared at the grass beneath my feet, unable to look up at the people weeping around me. All I could see was the damp grass under my feet. I'm guessing she's at a funeral? Only the monotone eulogies that floated through my ears reminded me that I was at a funeral. Oh, hell yeah, I'm fucking genius. It was only when the speeches ended that I was finally able to raise my head. Small gathering of most people, mostly made of relatives I didn't even know were related to me, were huddled around a simple small grave. Harold Anderson, forever in our hearts. Was that her granddad? I can't remember. For a while, all I heard was the sound of raindrops and umbrellas. If it weren't raining, everything would probably be in a heavy silence. I looked beside me where my father was standing and holding up a large black umbrella. Umbrella! Oh my god, even Rihanna could get that right, why can't I? For our small family of 3. His face was emotionless, a strange sight next to my weeping mother. I wondered what was going through his mind. Ah, I've been there, bro. After all, etched into the smooth grey tombstone was his father's name. Yeah, I'm a genius. I am awesome. My grandfather, the one who raised me like his own daughter, had passed away that day. The ceremony was small, only close family were allowed to come. Bloody hell, that's a fast funeral! Slowly, though, people began to leave, leaving my father, mother and me behind at the grave. A man dressed in a clean black suit under the uniform black umbrella of the funeral attendees walked towards us, introducing himself as grandfather's lawyer. He pulled out a few documents from his suitcase and began to read aloud its contents.
And now, I shall read Harold Anderson's last will and testament.
Only my parents and I were allowed to be present for my grandfather's will. It was under the strict request of his lawyer, and there was a reason why.
And to my dearest granddaughter, I give my estate. All the furniture and decor that resides within the house shall also be given to my granddaughter.
Wow. What? Couldn't believe my ears. I'd earned the family estate. At 18? That was impossible, and yet it was written by my grandfather's own hand.
He passed the family estate to her? Why am I not surprised?
Alright, Dad, chill.
Dear.
Well, did he say anything about what will become of the CEO and chairman position of the Anderson Toys Company?
No. It is presumed that the vice chairman will succeed the position.
Even to the bitter end, he wouldn't give in. What a stubborn old man.
Dude! Issues! Shaking his head, my father turned to face my mother with a serious expression on his face.
About the estate. Should we send her there to get used to the building? It'll be a good place for her to live after high school.
Are you sure we should?
House party!
Why not? This would be a good experience for her.
Honey, what do you think?
Bring on the house party. I really wasn't sure what to say. Why did my grandfather think that I was the appropriate heir to the mansion? Was I even ready to live on my own?
Well, that seems to be it. We'll be taking our leave now. I'm sure the little heiress needs some time to adjust.
David!
Dickweed. Even though she raised her voice, my dad wordlessly began walking back to the car, disinterested.
Don't mind him, honey. I think that your grandfather's passing really affected him. Why don't we get back home for now?
You can go ahead to the car, Mum. I think I need some time alone with Grandpa.
Oh,
Daddy
of
issues.
course. Take all the time you need.
She gave me a quick hug and hurried after my dad. I looked around the funeral ground, which was completely empty, save for the sullen-looking grave that was laid in front of me. Dude, this is really quite depressing. This is not what I wanted. I'm sure that if Grandpa were in charge of arranging all this, it would have been much different. It's blatantly obvious that my dad was in charge of the whole event. Who else would bury their own family the same day they pass away? That's pretty mad. Everyone knew my grandfather's love for toys, and yet the grave was a mere stone slab on the ground, void of any children's toys. My dad didn't even bother putting flowers. His disdain for my grandfather was almost pitiful. And then he wonders why he didn't leave it all to him, not why his dad didn't leave it to him. Come on. Sorry, Grandpa. I tried to force out some words, but the only thing that came out was a choked sob. Like the sound that Emma Thompson makes at the end of Sense and Sensibility, maybe? You told me to stay strong, but right now I'm the farthest from it. Like that one time, a long time ago. Grandpa!
Oh, it's so good to see you again, sweetie.
I swept into a giant bear hug and we both laughed as he swung around like an airplane. That was one of my favourite things about seeing my grandfather, the way he greeted me. Unlike my father, my grandfather was loving and playful, even as I grew older. Sorry that Daddy couldn't be here today. He said that he wasn't feeling too good again. It had always been like that. Dad missed every visit to Grandpa's house, citing that he was busy with work or he wasn't feeling well.
Is that so? Well, that's okay. Daddy can come around next time. And you're here, right?
Hell yeah! Yeah. So what are we doing today, Grandpa? Mummy says that there's a new dessert cafe open in town. Maybe we could go.
Oh, I would love to. But I've been so busy with the company these days. We're actually working on a little something. Would you like to see?
Ooh, is that a toy?
It is. I was designing a new line of them. But I feel like something's missing. You don't think you could help me out, could you?
Of course. He placed the toy in my hands with a smile and I inspected it carefully. It was beautifully crafted and obviously a lot of work was put into it. There was one thing though.
So, what do you think?
I think the hearts on its chest should light up when you hug it. It'll be like it's alive. And it'll be like a little nightlight before you sleep. He shrugged his chin, considering my input while nodding his head. After a few moments of silent deliberation, he turned to me with a chuckle.
That's a great idea! I'll get to changing it right away. You're always like my little lucky charm, dear. You always know what to add to make the perfect toy.
Skills, man. I hope I can be like you one day, Grandpa.
You want to make toys as well?
Well, making people happy is the best feeling in the world. I don't know if I want to make toys when I grow up, though.
Don't worry too much about it. You have plenty of time to decide. Besides, you should do what makes you happy as well.
Props. That makes sense. Daddy doesn't think of it in the same way, though.
Your father. I'm sure he just wants the best for you.
I'm not so sure about
Sweetie, look at me.
He bent down to look at me at eye level with a serious look on his
As
face.
much as your
Man,
father
this is
may
getting
say
serious.
something that doesn't make sense
I don't like
now,
it.
you must remember that he's always thinking about you. He loves you. There's no doubt about that. And you need to love him just as equally.
I don't hate Daddy. I really do love him. I don't know why he's like this, though.
Your father and I have had some difficulties with each other in the past. But it's nothing that you should be concerned about.
I heard tidbits of this from my mother and various other people. The only people who had stayed quiet were my father and grandfather. Both of them refrained from saying a word on the subject matter, but it was clear that whatever had happened set up a wall between them. It's hard, though, to try and pretend as if nothing were wrong.
However, no matter what, you have to stay strong. You're a big girl already, and, well, there'll come a day when it seems like it's you against the world. But always remember that your family and friends will be here with you. Daddy, Mommy, your friends at school, me. We'll stand together to get through it.
How can you be so sure of that?
Because we'll be right here and here.
He pointed his finger to my head first, and then pointed at my chest. Oh my god, he's in my boobs.
So
This is
stay
getting
strong.
serious.
Promise?
For a moment he looked almost sad, pleading, but as quickly as it had come, the expression disappeared from his face and he was all smiles once again. Promise. Upon hearing that, Grandpa let out a great burst of laughter and stood up.
All right then. Enough of that. How about I whip up some special homemade dessert? I know I can't accompany you at that new cafe, but we sure can talk and eat while I cook and do some paperwork.
Homemade dessert? I'll race you to the kitchen.
Hey,
Bring
slow
on the
down
crumble
there.
replicas.
I'm not what I used to be.
You willed me the very home I love to see you in. Why? Why would you think I'd be ready to take it, especially after this? A surge of anger bubbled within me, but I quickly swallowed it. Don't laugh at me. Oh, he's on his headphones. Okay. There's no use in getting mad, especially when the person in question was no longer there. I'm sorry, it's hard to stay calm when you've left with so many questions, especially what happened between you and Dad. What am I doing? Talking to a grave. My vision blurred and I suddenly realised that I was crying. My face heated up as tears rolled down my cheeks. I'll bring you some flowers later. I miss you, Grandpa. I'll try my best to fulfil my promise I gave to you, even if the world might be turned against me. I left the grave wiping my tears hastily so my parents wouldn't see.
Well, it's time to head back home. I'll cook up your favorite lasagna when we get home, okay?
How did she know? Oh my God, that is so my favourite. I love lasagna. Thanks, man! However, my dad didn't speak the entire drive home. I wanted to talk to him, but after his moment at the funeral, I wasn't sure if it was a good idea.
It's about time we took off those dreary black clothes.
Gathering my courage, I decided then that it was time to talk. Dad, can I ask you something?
Go ahead.
Why do you want me to move into the estate so soon?
I thought I made that rather clear. The college near your grandfather's house is well known for its business program. You are planning to major in business, yes? Right after you graduate from high school, you'll just live there and can easily commute to and from school. It's a perfect fit for you.
So you're kicking me out? But it's so sudden. You just decided so quickly right after the funeral.
Don't be so sensitive. If you're like that in the real world, you'll be crushed.
You're a dick. Just saying that maybe we could talk a bit more about my future, you know? In reply, my father rubbed his temples and sighed quietly.
After you graduate from college, you'll work at Anderson Family Toys. I have connections since I am part of the board of directors, so you will be guaranteed a spot. That is what we talked about before, yes?
But what if...
Stop mumbling!
What if I don't want to work there?
Don't be silly. It's the family company. Our company. I'm not just going to hand it over to some incompetent vice chairman.
He came close
Look,
to me and his face softened.
this is all for the best, okay? You may not know it right now, but you will appreciate it later.
I must say, I'm quite pleased that she's the only daughter, and they're like encouraging the family business on the female protagonist, and it's like, it's quite cool because mostly you see like this whole thing about men and wanting an male heir to pass the family business down, but they're passing it on to the girl. I've got to say, I've got props for this. This is awesome. For some reason, when I heard him say that, something snapped in me. I wasn't exactly sure what it was, but it made me feel so angry. Do you even care that Grandpa passed away?
Of course I do.
Everything seems fine and dandy to you. Things couldn't be better.
Excuse me? I don't like your tone, young lady.
Don't like yours. It's nothing even happened at all. Like you've just ignored the fact that he's no longer here.
Do not raise your voice at me.
I didn't. What did he ever do to you to deserve this? My father, his face hardened, crossed his arms and erupted in angry laughter.
Ha! You sure place him upon a pedestal. Like he's some kind of venerated god or something. It makes me sick.
Is that it? Are you happy seeing Grandpa dead? While everyone was grieving, you were holding yourself back from laughing in everyone's faces. Did you just feel a little happier seeing him lying in the graveyard? Oh, you dickhead!
You don't know anything! Running your mouth like somehow you know everything that went on, when you're just a little girl that doesn't know how to keep her mouth shut! You did not know my father! You did not know what he was capable of!
Is everything all right? What happened?
Dick slapped me! I'm not hungry. I think I'll just go upstairs.
Honey, wait!
Quickly turned and ran up the stairs to my room, slamming the door behind me. My breath came in short pants, and for a while I just leaned against the build to my bedroom, eventually sliding down to sit against it. How did things become like this? My cheeks still throbbed, and I tentatively stood up and looked at the mirror to see how it looked. Hopefully it didn't bruise. What am I saying? Tears formed in the corner of my eyes, but I blinked them back rapidly. I couldn't cry for the second time today. I had to be stronger than that.
Are you all right? Your father told me nothing happened, but you know your father.
Yeah, he's a violent dick. I'm fine, just lost my appetite.
The lasagna's done, though. And I don't want you skipping any meals. Are you sure?
Yeah, I hope my dad drowns in it. Yeah, don't worry about me. I'll come downstairs later to eat.
You're not telling me the whole story.
I just don't want to eat right now.
Please, dear. Tell me what's going on. I wish you would tell me why you're being like this.
I wanted to tell her. Part of me was telling her. Part of me was screaming to tell her what Dad had done. At the same time, I knew she couldn't fix anything. Besides, I was moving out regardless. I remained silent, letting the event remain in the past.
Oh, I'll leave your food on the table if you want to eat it later.
Finally, my mum left me alone. It was strange to think that she was only a few inches away from me, only separated by a single wooden door. I really didn't know what to do. I needed to do something, anything to get my mind off what just happened. Anything would be better than thinking any more about the pain still radiating from my cheek. I was going to move into my grandfather's house tomorrow. I should probably pack my stuff so I would be prepared for tomorrow. Yeah, that was a good idea. Right, okay, so that wasn't the fun I was expecting. So I'm going to carry on again another time. Yeah, as I said, I'm still confused, but I'm still intrigued. Not just because I am a bit of a sex fiend, you know. I generally want to see how this goes. So, alright, so I will leave it here. Thank you very much, and I'll see you soon. Bye!